The Chief AI Officer acts as a strategic bridge, translating high-level business objectives into technical machine learning requirements for the engineering teams.
They coordinate with legal on privacy, verify the ROI for finance, and ensure marketing uses tools ethically.
The job is effectively an exercise in organizational diplomacy. The CAIO has to fix the human systems and corporate silos before the technology can provide any real value.
This chart tracks the adoption of a single job title across the world's largest companies. In 2025, only 26% of major organizations had a chief AI officer. 1 year later, that figure reached 76%. While boardrooms were creating these new executive roles, the tech industry reported over 100,000 layoffs. This reflects a calculated trade.
The friction began shortly after 2022, when organizations rushed to secure standard corporate licenses for large language models.
Because AI touches every department, companies had to invent a new executive seat to coordinate the overlap. Industry data shows that technology is rarely the problem. Over 93% of the hurdles to adopting AI are cultural, driven by human systems rather than software limitations.
In the traditional corporate model, technology leadership is divided into vertical lanes. You have a chief technology officer, a chief information officer, and a chief data officer, each owning a separate piece of the infrastructure. The CTO handles the physical servers, while the chief data officer manages governance and privacy. In this old architecture, these roles operate in isolated silos, rarely crossing over into each other's territory. Artificial intelligence breaks this model because it cuts horizontally across the entire organization, demanding simultaneous access to the infrastructure, the data, and the legal frameworks all at once.
This creates an accountability crisis. When a machine learning project fails, the blame is diffused across 3 different departments, with no one person responsible for the final outcome.
Companies are cutting labor costs to fund the massive software infrastructure required to automate their internal operations. Corporate restructuring typically moves in decades. The transition from isolated IT pilots to full-scale executive overhauls usually requires a slow cultural crawl, yet this role became a global standard in under 12 months.
This was a reactive scramble. Leadership teams across every sector realized simultaneously that their existing business models could no longer function without centralized oversight of their automated systems. When institutions like HSBC and Lloyd's Banking Group formalize AI leadership at the highest level, they are admitting that their ability to compete now depends entirely on how they govern these algorithms.
Without a roadmap, legacy systems fail to integrate with the new software. Proprietary data remains trapped in disconnected servers, and the efficiency gains promised by the tools never materialize. On the digital shop floor, this unguided rollout creates deep-seated anxiety over human replacement. Employees who fear the technology will inevitably resist using it, leading to widespread organizational inertia.
These systems are already dictating how companies hire, fire, and build strategy. Despite that influence, most organizations lacked a single executive with the authority to oversee the complete picture. Deploying these tools without strategic governance creates a dangerous operational vacuum. The Chief AI Officer was designed to fill that void before the internal friction causes the business to stall.
Because the primary obstacles are human, successful AI integration requires a partnership with the Human Resources Department. 59% of corporate leaders now expect the Chief Human Resources Officer to gain significant influence, as they are the ones tasked with managing the workforce through this transition.
While operational execution is being rapidly codified and automated, senior leadership currently operates behind a natural shield that protects them from direct disruption.
Experts estimate the software as a service industry could convert $100 billion of labor costs into pure software margins. Capturing those margins requires more than just a software license. It requires a complete redesign of the organization, with automated workflows built into the core of the business.
With cultural barriers causing over 90% of adoption failures, the survival of these companies depends on how effectively they manage human behavior